It's a mini Christmas village. So I made a Barbie outfit, and the whole reason why I wanted to do it is because number one, it's Barbie, she's iconic. The Barbie movie's coming out. I love Barbie. And I was also grocery shopping and I saw the 2022 Holiday Barbie, and I realized that it looks really similar to a project that I literally just did, which is the red petal dress from the Belle movie. And so I started thinking, what are some other holiday Barbie outfits that, are out there? Because I remember being a kid and just desperately wanting holiday Barbie, but my mom never bought them for me. Maybe because I never voiced that that was a thing that I wanted. That's fair. So I did a quick Google search and I came across last year's 2021 holiday Barbie, and I was like, this is perfect. I'm pretty sure I have everything I need in my house currently to make this costume. So I start making it. Things go well, a few mistakes happen, but overall I have this sense of odd nostalgia, like I'm living in a weird dream, or like I've done this before or made this costume before, and I couldn't quite shake it. Anyways, and then I get pretty much done with this entire costume, and I'm searching for a video to watch on YouTube while I'm just kind of stitching on a few final things. And lo and behold, Makara Tour's video from last year of her making this exact same costume comes up, and I'm like, that's why I felt so oddly nostalgic about making this costume, is because I've watched one of my favorite creators already make it. And it just kind of all made sense, the pieces kind of came together. If you haven't watched Makara Tour's 2021 Barbie holiday dress video, definitely go check it out. Watch all her videos. She's a spectacular creator. But here's my version of it. And the fact that in some parallel universe, I could one day twin Barbie costumes with Makara Tour's absolutely warms my heart. I'm starting with this corset that I originally had planned as a different outfit, but now it's going to be a Barbie costume. Using fabric softener and acrylic paint, I'm going to mix the two together to make more of a fabric paint medium. And just for everyone's information, I put way too much fabric softener in that bowl. You don't need that much. I probably only needed a tablespoon, so next time I do this, I will be using much less. But anyways, I just got straight to painting the corset. The great part about this paint is that it dries pretty quickly, and it layers on really, really nicely, and it doesn't get stiff because of the fabric softener. Once the corset was all the same color, it was time to start adding the jewels. This is the part that I always look forward to, but it's also the part where I burn my fingers time and time and time again, and it gets so monotonous gluing all of these little gems on. I get so tired of it. And look how slow it is in real time. I think sometimes we forget that some processes just take so long because we speed things up, and then you watch it in a video and you're like, oh, I can do that in an hour. No, putting this many jewels on a corset takes 6 hours. So put on a good show and find a comfortable chair, because you are going to be there for a while. This is the finished corset. It's a chonky boy, and look at how reflective it is. I'm excited about this one. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the skirt. And I really like to keep my projects as thrifted and sustainable as possible. Obviously, sometimes that's not an option, but in this case, I think it is. I have these curtains that I thrifted a while back. Now, Barbie's wearing a silver toned skirt, and this one is really in this room, look how orangey brown this room is. It's looking a little more goldish, but I think in the right light, it can skew silver and it will be just fine. What I'm worried about is when I put these together, it's not my favorite combination in the world. And that is totally on me for painting the corset this color of gray. I wish I'd have done something a little bit lighter and maybe something with some glitter already on it, but this ship has sailed. We are moving forward, and also, I want to save these. I don't want to cut this and make it a permanent skirt, so I'm literally just going to sew these panels together and then gather the top, because I still want to be able to make other things out of this fabric. And this is a lot of fabric. I have 3 of these, and I still think it's really pretty, so I'm going to try and be able to use it for other projects, not just this Barbie dress. My first plan of action with the curtain was to kind of clip these little spots where the curtain was like, you know, stitched together to be a curtain. So I cut those apart, and then I had much more fabric to kind of work with. It wasn't pleated the same way. And then I cut the giant hem off as well. I also grabbed this tulle from my stash. In an attempt to streamline this process, I'm going to wash and dry this tulle and hopefully get a lot of the wrinkles out of it while I'm making the skirt. That way when the skirt is done, I will hopefully be able to just use this wrinkle-free tulle. As of right now, it's the most wrinkly thing I've ever seen in my entire life, so hopefully this will work. I sprayed the fabric with a bunch of water beforehand, just so that it would have some moisture to kind of get the wrinkles out. And then I went back to working on the skirt. I sewed all the 3 panels together into one gigantic round and then pinned and pleated them, and then I sewed all of those pleats down just to make the waist of the skirt less than the circumference of the hem. If that makes any sense. I should have scripted this. The skirt is done, and now I need to go find my giant petticoat, which is downstairs, so that it has like more poof. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I gotta be honest, this color combination is not one that I would have chosen if I had, well, you know what? I did choose it. That's on me, and it is unfortunate. Hopefully the finished product looks good, but for right now, this is pretty much trash. All I have left to do is little swoopy thingies here and here, and hopefully I can do that before the end of this episode. So I guess I'll get going on that now. To add the poofy tulle onto the side of the dress, I simply added poofy tulle onto the side of the dress. Like, I ran a gathering stitch all across the top and then just, you know, gathered it down. I also hand stitched this on for 2 reasons. First of all, it gives me more control, and second of all, I didn't want to get out of my chair and I wanted to keep watching my movie, and I had to turn my movie off if I want to sew using my sewing machine because it's loud. For the tulle off the shoulder sleeves that the dress has, I just cut a large rectangle and then stitched it directly onto the corset. It's getting darker, so I have to hurry up. This just doesn't seem like enough, so I'm gonna add a whole other one like onto it just to see like if it's puffier, which I think it needs to be puffier. It definitely needed to be puffier, and this corset needs to be more sparkly. Yes. Remember earlier when I was like, this corset is done, but man, I wish it had more sparkles on it. Yeah, I definitely should have just like sprayed some glitter on it before putting the gigantic gems on, because I ended up going through and using glitter glue and a tiny paintbrush to paint in more sparkles, but it was 100% worth it and I regret nothing. It looks so much better.
In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset, it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline.
Somebody get me a dream house and a pink convertible because I'm Barbie now. This is one of my favorite things I've ever created. One of my favorite parts about this entire cosplay is that eventually one day I'm going to turn this skirt into something completely different, which was one of my main objectives when creating this. I wanted to save as much fabric as possible from being completely destroyed to the point where I couldn't reuse it for something else. And as it stands right now, the corset is pretty much the only part of this costume that I can't really reuse. I can repurpose it, like maybe I will do a Taylor Swift white corset bejeweled look, that's a possibility. But for the most part, the tulle just has a running stitch all the way through the top, and that's pretty much what the skirt has too. So I've got yards of fabric to continue working and making projects. I think I'll keep this as a Barbie costume for a little while. because I'm kind of liking it. We did take pictures at the little Christmas village, so here are more images from the shoot. I'm kind of glad I did this costume now and not a little bit later like I was originally planning, because this Christmas village gets absolutely packed full of people and it's snowy and wet and there's not a lot of space to take big pictures like this, so I'm glad we did it now. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. More videos are on their way soon. And in this house, we craft in pajamas.